Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Jessica Kruse.
You're listening to the Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey Jesse, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
We're
Doing good. Well, let's get this started. So, tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
I'm a Michigan realtor right now, and I'm also a cosmetologist. So I do hair kind of on the side, but mostly in real estate.
Nice. You probably get some clients from that. You're like, well, chop it away, and you're like, you want to sell your house?
yeah, exactly. They got to work off each other.
What one came first, cosmetology or real estate?
A little bit together.
Okay.
I was actually in cosmetology school when COVID happened. And so we shut down, and I got my real estate license while we were shut down. And then I finished school. So I guess you could say real estate, but I started beauty school first.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what did you do? Did you just go right to school into that, or did you do anything else before that?
Actually was in healthcare for 10 years.
Wow.
So I was a pharmacy technician, started out doing that, and then kind of dabbled in marketing a little bit and just wasn't digging the cubicle life. So decided to kind of take a turn and do something that made me happy. And also just wanted to have more time with my kids. So medical was always getting out at 5 o'clock or later and, missing practices. And it just really wasn't for me. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. We both came from medical too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, you were a pilot, but yeah, we both came from that side of it. So yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
So tell us about your first transaction. When you got your license, were you right in COVID still, or what was like? Were you still in the lockdown when you had your license, or what? When did that start?
It took a little bit of time. I felt like there was a really long gap of when I finished my classes to when I could actually take my test. Then I got my license, and for the first probably 4 to 6 months, I was glad that I was good at doing hair because I was very I made a huge mistake, but it was also a year ago. So we were getting into the slow season with Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I definitely thought I made a huge mistake in quitting my job, and it was terrifying. And then I had my first sale in February of this year. It was a referral from a distant cousin of mine. I was so shocked out of anybody that was going to refer me. I was like, okay, cool. They can come from anywhere, but I had him, and it just seemed by the time I started showing him houses and a month later when we were closing on his, he had already made a comment like, you're killing it. And I'm so glad I got to be your number one. So just with my first client, as soon as that started, it was just kind of, every single month, just kind of making more deals. So it was really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Were they all referrals, or was it you kind of reaching out to the community? How did that?
I think most of them were referrals, but I'm from a small little town. I graduated with 59 people. So it's a town where everybody knows everybody. And I don't live there anymore, but I live close by. And it just kind of I had another cousin use me, and then, somebody else calling from Morenci. It's like they knew who I was, or I went to school with their kids. And that's just kind of how it started. So I've definitely been doing it all on my own. I'm not big on leads because I don't like not talking to people that I don't know, but sometimes it can be a scary world out there. So if I can know the people, or at least know their last name, it makes me a little bit more comfortable. So but it's been really great.
So a year ago today, you were kind of maybe thinking, did I make a mistake and leaving my corporate job? How do you feel now that you're a year in?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I think we froze.
That's okay. So a year ago, you were thinking maybe you made a mistake by leaving the healthcare field, right? How do you feel now that you're a year in?
I've made the best decision of my life. I've never been happier. And actually, when I got my real estate license, I thought it was going to be kind of on the side. I was going to do hair full time. And, if I could sell a house here and there, it could be vacation money. And it's completely switched roles and to just so happy. And now this is the career that I've always dreamt of having, just meaning being happy and waking up every day and actually loving my job and not dreading every single day. So I love it. I couldn't be happier.
Awesome. Yeah. Going into real estate part-time, I know you were thinking like hair full-time, real estate part-time. It's probably the quite opposite, right? Real estate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My broker at the time, he looked at me and said, you're not going to do hair. And I was like, well, we'll see about that. And so, but yeah, so I don't do it very much, but once in a while I do a few clients here and there, mostly family.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, over the last year, what is the worst house that you've been to? Worst showing, worst property? What one sticks out the most?
I have been really lucky and haven't really had anything too crazy. I would say the one that wasn't necessarily like the worst within dirty or cluttery or anything like that, but I did go, and when I was getting started, I was answering phone calls for leads. And this particular instance is why I don't like doing leads anymore. I met with a person that I just didn't know who she was, and kind of in a bigger city, not in Detroit, but we were kind of heading that way. And there was a group of guys that were standing outside, and I just kind of waited and waited, like, it's our showing time. I don't, know who these people are. And it just made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They were apparently there seeing the house as well before us, but they refused to leave. So after they left the inside, and I took, another female, so it's just me and one other female inside, they stayed in the parking lot. So it was really uncomfortable, and that was probably the worst, but I mean, by far not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just me being a small town girl who's afraid of her own shadow. So, but we just like always have to be safe and on guard, but that was just weird. Like, I just wanted them to leave. So
Yeah. Yeah, especially this day and age. You never know. It's better to just be safe than sorry than rather you stay in the house than walking out and what are you guys still doing here?
Right. We did have one. I did show one that was really funny in the basement. There was a toilet bowl, like cover and a lid. And it was really funny. It was just hanging on the wall, and we opened it like, oh, like what's behind the toilet? And it was like the vent. It was really funny. So
Wow.
that one will probably stick out for me for a while. They were very creative to cover that vent.
Yeah. What kind of goals do you have finishing off the rest of this year and going into the next year?
So I actually have my Ohio State exam scheduled for November 18th.
Oh,
So
exciting.
that's a really big goal for me. When I first started, I didn't even, I wanted to wait to get my Ohio to see how I did in Michigan.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've just been so blessed and have had really great success that I thought it was time to move and get my Ohio license. My entire 10 years that I was in medical field, I worked in Ohio. So I have a lot of sphere in that area. So I'm really excited. So just trying to study and pass that, but that is my goal for finishing out the year. So starting next year really strong with both states.
Awesome.
That's nice.
So you kind of got Michigan down now. How do you plan on going into Ohio? Do you have anything that you would do differently from when you started in Michigan? Or kind of just the same?
Just doing what I've learned over the past 6 months.
Okay.
I get stronger every day, and I'm actually with a new brokerage than I was, when I first started, and she's just teaching me so many wonderful things about marketing ourselves and what we can do. And I think it's working really well. And I love the steps that we're taking together as a team. She's in Ohio as well. So I think we're just going to be a powerhouse, and mainly just working our sphere and getting to know the community. Our community is really big for us, and, supporting our local communities and doing those things just to be out there. So.
Awesome. Do you have any business books that you could recommend to maybe anybody else starting out?
I will not lie. I'm not a huge reader. I have 2 little ones. I read mostly kid books every single day. But I did have one that stuck out with me, and it's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I actually took a Dale Carnegie class a few years ago. And if nobody's heard of it, or if you have heard of it and thought about it, I take the class. It's absolutely amazing. I didn't think that I needed help making friends because I thought I had friends. But once I took this class, you really realize that you might have friends, but you might not be a great friend. And just really learning how to talk to people and listen, like that's the biggest thing. And I felt like I learned from that was, how to be a good friend, how to listen. And that goes a long way, I think, even in my business.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing when to just stop talking and listen. So that would be, to me, my biggest one, the books that are out there from Dale Carnegie, but then also the classes.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, before we go today, how can people get a hold of you?
everywhere, Facebook, Instagram. So Facebook would just be Jessica Kruse, NextHome Elevate. My Instagram is jessie.welcomehome. And do you want me to shout out my phone number?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
Okay. Phone number is 517-662-9707. And always up for texting or phone calls. Anything works for me. So
Awesome. I like it. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Are these working?
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. What do we got to point at it? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
It might be there.
might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's
Red.
blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah. I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening to on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars,
review.
guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take
But-
4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
No, I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.